Thank you, Greg. I've done a lot of boring work the past decade, in case you haven't noticed. So during my time in the shelter system, transitional housing, and trauma recovery services, it was common to see the intergenerational effects of violence against women, poverty, and mental health. We would see women return for services multiple times, and often their daughters, as they grew from children to adults in the same cycles. All of the women and girls in my life, family and friends here in the county, have experienced oppression in the form of violence, harassment, and poverty and exclusion. This is what drew me to working with Reaching for Rainbows. After a decade of treating the symptoms, I knew that prevention would be the most effective way of empowering women and girls. And that's exactly what we do at Reaching for Rainbows. So Reaching for Rainbows is a no-cost after-school program open to girls aged 6 to 9. We take the girls on a number of different bases. We just updated our intake process in the fall, just to get a little bit more feedback on how we can support the girls. So historically, we would just take their personal information for our files. Reaching for Rainbows is licensed by the Ministry of Education as a child care center. So we do have a lot of work in that area to make sure that we meet compliance every year. We also have a health inspection that we do because there is a kitchen in our center. So for those of you that have heard of Reaching for Rainbows before, we got our humble start with a woman in the community who was over at the Andrew and just saw some gaps in the community and thought that because the Andrew has such a lovely space in the basement to be able to provide after school programming, that it would be able to support girls through their early development phases. Some of you also may have seen a statistic come out through the Vital Impact report from the County Foundation. 2 in 5 preschoolers are vulnerable in multiple areas of their development. So this was the premise for Reaching for Rainbows getting started. We have the girls come off of the bus around 2:45. We meet them outside, and it switches season to season. So in the fall, we go inside first, have a healthy snack, and then they have free time, like free play. And then we end the day outside. So the girls are able to be picked up by their guardians after the last half hour of them spending time working on gross motor skills, playing cooperatively with their friends, and just getting time to be outside and enjoy the nice weather, whether it be fall, winter, spring, summer. But then in the wintertime, that flips. So when the girls get off the bus, we stay outside because we've got more sun so that it's safer for them. So in terms of the healthy snack, we also work with the Canada Food Guide and base our menu planning off of that. We also developed a new program in the past couple of years called Eat Great, which was funded by the County Foundation, Huff Family Fund. So we were able to get some of our senior girls into the kitchen, working with us and developing out their own menus and learning how to prepare and plan healthy snacks that they can have during program. We're changing the program up a little bit this year just because we're constantly reminded that from 2:45 till 5 goes by really quickly. You know, we always have lots of fun ideas planned and activities and options for them to do. So they don't always want to be in the kitchen preparing their own snack. They want to be in the playroom utilizing the different toys that we have available to them. And yeah, so the Eat Great program is in its development phase at the moment. So we launched it last year and we're launching it again in February, but we're just taking a little bit of a different approach. So the girls will be preparing snacks, but taking them home rather than having them in program. We'll have the snacks ready for them. So ideally, the girls spend 4 years in the program. They start at 6, they end at 9. Sometimes we don't get them like right at 6 or right at 7. So the Seniors come on Mondays and Tuesdays, and the juniors come on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We have the framework set out. So we've got the snack time, we've got the outdoor playtime, and then our staff use a play-based approach. So when Rainbows first got started, the folks who had put the program together were very enthusiastic about using a curriculum-based approach. And post-COVID, we just found that the girls had so much energy that they needed to dispel. So we still use curriculum in a way that we have themes every month. So like the girls are working on love and kindness for February, since Valentine's Day is mid-month. So we still pull in curriculum, but we're not sitting down with the girls and helping them with their homework or reading to them unless that's what they want to do. So as Greg mentioned, we do have a partnership with County Kids Read. They provide us with books. The girls get to go home every month with a book of their own. And it means a lot to them to be able to bring those books home, especially because a number of our girls do come from low-income families here in Prince Edward County. So we also have just launched last year a mentorship program. We are attempting to fill the age gap. So Rainbows is 6 to 9, The Rock is 14 to 18. So we've got a gap in the community. So by bringing Rainbows girls back into the program through mentorship, we're able to keep them engaged and make sure that they have a safe place to go, people to talk to, and a good support system of women to help them, through those tough times when you're a teenager. So I just thought I would share a couple of anecdotal stories with you in terms of the program. We also provide the girls with shoes for when they come into the program, just kind of lessens the load for their parents. And we have had an art therapist come into the program and do programming, arts-based programming with the girls. They don't know that she's an art therapist. She just comes in and she's a visitor that comes into the program, and she utilized the shoes. So we started purchasing white canvas shoes. So the girls were able to decorate their shoes and have the agency and choice to be able to express themselves freely through that art modality. And since that has happened, we've noticed that the girls are coming out of their shells more, that they are sharing their interests with us. They are choreographing dances. They are choosing songs to play on the karaoke machine, and they know every single lyric, just so you're aware. They memorize those songs. So we can see the development of the girls through the programming that we're planning at Reaching for Rainbows. Another one of the art projects was a video design. So the girls were able to work with somebody and take pictures and video clips and put them together for their own choice, and then place music over top and be very creative with it. And one of the girls' mom was so touched by the video that she put together that she sought out counseling supports for her daughter, just because she felt so moved by the video and thought that she needed a way to express her emotion. So got her that counseling support that has really helped her work through some challenges that she was having at school. So the last story that I was going to tell you happened this year. And when the girls come in off the bus, they're usually pretty excited. And we're doing attendance, making sure that people are that all the girls are there. And if they aren't, our program manager calls their parents just to make sure that everything's okay. And so we had a girl that was missing. And again, the playroom can get pretty rambunctious and fun and loud. And the girls are all saying, "Oh, she wasn't at school today. She's sick. She's sick." And then one of her friends piped up and said, "She wasn't sick. She was there at lunch. And 2 girls on the schoolyard pushed her up against a tree and choked her out." Choked her, yeah. She didn't tell anybody. She went home. She told people that she wasn't feeling well. And because of what one of her friends shared with us at Rainbows, we were able to talk to the parents, and the parents were able to get the police involved so that the school followed up appropriately. And so this young lady didn't feel comfortable going back to school for a couple of days naturally, but she decided to come to Rainbows because she felt safe there. And so this is the kind of implicit work that Rainbows does, providing that space, providing those mentors. The volunteers are really the crux of the program. The staff are really the crux of the program at Rainbows. But if it weren't for the girls' friends telling the adults what had happened, then it wouldn't have been followed up on appropriately. So I just think that this is such a wonderful story to display the impacts that Reaching for Rainbows has on the girls in our program. Does anybody have any questions?